If you've ever wondered how to make her fall madly in love with you, not just a little interest, but full-blown obsession, this is the only video you'll ever need. You're about to discover an unstoppable formula that shows you exactly how to spark her curiosity, trigger raw emotional connection, and become the kind of man she simply can't resist. From the very first glance to the moment she's hooked. So if you're ready to finally become that guy, the one who gets her heart racing and her mind spinning, watch this till the very end. And if you never want to miss out again, hit subscribe now and guarantee your success in love forever. You're not broken, you're not too nice, and no, you don't need to pretend to be some cold, emotionless alpha to get the woman you want. What you do need is to understand the game you've been playing all wrong. Most guys were never taught how love really works. We were told to be polite, give compliments, show interest, and everything would fall into place. But then reality hits. You're doing all the right things, and she's losing interest. You're putting in effort and getting nothing back, and worst of all, you start blaming yourself. Stop right there. This video isn't about turning you into someone you're not. It's about helping you reconnect with the version of yourself that women actually fall for. The version that's confident, grounded, and unforgettable. We're going to unpack the silent mistakes most men make that kill attraction, and reveal the real psychology behind why women fall deeply in love, without the games, without the manipulation, without pretending. So if you've ever felt like love is a mystery you just can't figure out, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll see why the guy who gets the girl isn't the one who begs for love. It's the one who becomes love. Let's be real. Most men don't fail in love because they're bad people. They fail because they've been lied to. From childhood, you're told that if you treat her like a princess, put her on a pedestal, and give her everything she wants, she'll love you back. But what they didn't tell you is that attraction doesn't work like a transaction. You can't buy someone's heart with kindness. One of the biggest mistakes. Over-investing too early. Texting her constantly. Making her the center of your life before she's earned that position. Planning your schedule around hers. Being overly agreeable, never saying no. That doesn't come across as romantic. It feels desperate. Another major issue, lack of direction. Women aren't drawn to men who wait for signals before taking action. They're drawn to leaders, not control freaks, but men with purpose. If every conversation revolves around her, if your hobbies fade into the background the second she shows up, she notices, and it kills the vibe. Then there's the emotional overexposure. Being open and vulnerable is great, but too soon, too fast. It can overwhelm her. You're giving her deep access without first creating safety, trust, or mutual energy. That's not connection. That's emotional dumping. And finally, trying to be perfect. Always smiling, always agreeing, always hiding your flaws. But guess what? Real connection doesn't come from perfection. It comes from being real. When you hide your true self, she can't connect to you. Because you don't even seem like a person anymore. You're just a highlight reel. Women want someone they can feel something with, and feeling something often starts with unpredictability, edge, energy, not over-sanitized politeness. If you recognize yourself in any of this, good. It means you're self-aware, and self-awareness is the first step to change. Before we continue with the video and my further explanation about the problems with attraction, I'd like to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so if you've found any value so far, please consider hitting that subscribe button and supporting the channel. It means the world, and it helps me make more content like this for you. Okay, let's continue. Let's break something wide open. Love doesn't just happen. It follows patterns built on psychology, biology, and emotion. So what does make a woman fall for a man? First, emotional impact. Women remember how you made them feel, not what you said, not what you wore, but the emotional energy you brought into the room. Did you spark curiosity? Did she feel seen? Did she feel alive in your presence? If your energy is flat, anxious, or overly available, the connection stalls. But if your vibe is confident, playful, grounded, she feels it. Attraction becomes almost chemical. Second, unpredictability. This doesn't mean playing games, it means not being boring. When she can guess everything you'll say or do, interest fades. But when your energy shifts, when your conversations have layers, when you're spontaneous, you become a puzzle she wants to solve. Third, purpose. Nothing is more attractive than a man who's on a mission. When your life is full, passions, projects, movement, you don't need her to complete you. That's magnetic. It tells her, I want you here, but I'm good either way. That energy is rare and irresistible. Fourth, tension. Healthy tension creates desire. It's built through teasing, eye contact, silence, playfulness. the space between moments. It's not about forcing anything, it's about letting attraction build instead of rushing in to fill every quiet moment with reassurance. So no, love isn't about being the nice guy or the bad boy. It's about becoming a man who stirs something in her, who lives fully, expresses freely, and holds himself with quiet strength. When you understand that attraction is less about performance and more about presence, everything changes. You can have charm, looks, money, but if there's no emotional connection, it won't last. Emotional connection is what turns attraction into attachment. It's what makes her text you at midnight just because she misses your voice. It's what keeps her thinking about you when you're not around. But here's the catch. Emotional connection isn't built through words alone. It's built through presence, listening, and the energy behind your silence. Too many men try to connect by oversharing or seeking sympathy. That's not connection. That's unloading. Real emotional connection happens when you make her feel safe to open up. When she feels like you're not judging, fixing, or rushing her story. You're just there, fully there. One powerful trick: mirror her emotional tone. If she's excited, match her spark. If she's soft and vulnerable, slow your energy. It shows attunement, that you're in sync with her. Also, don't be afraid to show subtle layers of yourself. Not all at once, just hints, a story from your childhood, a moment that shaped you. Vulnerability, when done with confidence, creates intimacy, not weakness, depth. But the real secret? Consistency in your energy, not your words, not your actions, your energy. If she can trust how it feels to be around you, she'll start associating that comfort and excitement with you personally. That's how deep bonds are built. Emotional connection doesn't scream, it whispers. But when you master it, she'll feel something with you that no one else gives her. And that's unforgettable. Confidence isn't about being loud, it's about being solid. The kind of man who doesn't need to announce his worth, because it's felt. You walk into a room and you're calm, present, not trying to impress, not seeking approval. That's the kind of confidence that speaks louder than words. But confidence without boundaries, that's a recipe for self-destruction. Boundaries show you know your value. You're not available 24/7. You're not changing your personality to fit hers. You're kind, but not a pushover. You can say no, and mean it. That quiet strength tells her, I respect myself, and I won't compromise that for anyone. Now, add in playfulness, and you've got a game changer. Playfulness brings life into every interaction. It's the side comments, the smirk when you tease her, the spontaneous detour on a walk just to chase something fun. It shows you don't take yourself too seriously, and that's refreshing. The magic happens when these three traits work together. Your confidence grounds her, your boundaries challenge her, your playfulness keeps her curious. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real, with layers. A man who can joke around 1 second and stand his ground the next. That contrast, that's what keeps her hooked. She doesn't want someone who gives her everything. She wants someone who gives her a reason to stay curious. Be that reason. So far, you've learned what pushes her away and what pulls her closer. But here's the twist. Even when you're doing things right, how you carry yourself makes all the difference. Because attraction isn't just about actions, it's about attitude. And the moment she senses that you're centered in who you are, something shifts. Up next, I'm going to share the one mindset shift that changes everything. The part most men overlook. This is where things really start to click. Let's talk about what happens when you stop chasing and start letting her choose you. Here's the part no one tells you. Attraction isn't earned, it's allowed. You don't convince a woman to love you. You don't win her over with effort. You simply show up as someone so rooted in self-worth that she feels pulled in without pressure. That's the secret. You let her choose you. Sounds backwards, right? We're taught to pursue, impress, convince. But the moment you put someone on a pedestal, you make it clear, I need you more than you need me. And that imbalance, it kills desire. So what does it mean to let her choose you? It means you stop proving yourself. You stop trying to guess what she wants and start focusing on who you are. Your goals, your values, your path. It means you lead, but don't chase. You invite, but don't beg. You give, without expecting. And if she pulls away, you let her. Because a man who truly knows his worth doesn't panic when someone drifts. He stays grounded, he keeps moving, and that calm, detached confidence, it's magnetic. Letting her choose you doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things from a place of wholeness, being emotionally available but not emotionally dependent, being intentional, not needy. And when she sees that you're not afraid to walk away, she leans in. Not because you forced it, but because you created the space where her authentic desire could show up. That's when love becomes powerful, not when it's pushed, but when it's chosen freely. The most attractive men aren't the ones chasing love. They're the ones who love themselves so deeply that others want to be part of that story. So stop asking, how can I make her love me? Start asking, am I living in a way that invites love without needing it to survive? Let's bring it home. If you've made it this far, you already know. The way most men approach love is backwards. They try to prove, perform, and persuade their way into a woman's heart. They offer affection like it's a down payment, expecting love in return. But love doesn't work like that, and deep down, you felt that truth. You felt the exhaustion of giving too much and getting too little. The confusion of doing everything right and still ending up alone. Here's the shift, and it changes everything. Stop chasing her approval. Start protecting your energy. You are not here to be chosen by everyone. You're here to be clear about what you want, who you are, and what kind of love you will or won't accept. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Because when you know who you are, you stop begging. You stop trying to impress. You stop showing up with your heart in your hands, hoping someone won't break it. Instead, you walk in wholeness. And that wholeness is what magnetizes the right woman. The kind of love you're looking for. It's not transactional. It's not about being the better option. It's about resonance, depth, respect. And that kind of connection only shows up when you stop hiding behind effort and start showing up as yourself. So let me ask you this, honestly. Are you acting like a man who's waiting to be loved, or living like a man who already knows he's worthy of it? Because that question, that's the key. Every step you've taken to understand her, great. But now it's time to understand yourself, to become emotionally strong, to stop asking for permission to lead, to stop fearing rejection like it defines you. It doesn't. The most attractive man in the room isn't always the tallest, richest, or flashiest. It's the one who's most at peace with himself. When you become that guy, the game changes. Women don't want a man who needs them to feel whole. They want a man who's already whole and simply invites them in. That's you now. If this hit home for you, if something finally clicked, do me one favor. I'm building a community of men who are done with games, done with guessing, and ready to lead with realness. I'd love for you to be part of that. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow together. Thanks for watching. Ever wonder why some guys just seem to attract women without even trying, while others struggle no matter what they do? The secret isn't luck. It's about knowing the right balance between being nice and being confident. Most men fall into one of two traps. They're either the nice guy, always available, always saying yes, and unfortunately, always stuck in the friend zone. Or they go too far the other way, acting like a bad boy, cold, distant, and constantly cycling through short-term flings. But what if I told you there's a third way? A way to become the kind of guy women are naturally drawn to and deeply connect with. This isn't about tricks or playing games. It's about understanding how attraction really works so you can be a man who stands out. Today, I'll show you how to master the balance of confidence and kindness, the kind of guy who earns both respect and love. By the time we're done, you'll have a clear understanding of what actually makes a man attractive and how you can apply it in your own life. Being a nice guy sounds great in theory. You treat her well, always say yes, and make sure she knows you care. But here's the harsh truth. Being too nice can make you seem weak or predictable. Women don't want a doormat. They want a man they can admire and respect. When you always put her needs first, she stops seeing you as a challenge. And attraction thrives on challenge. If she knows you'll always be available, she won't value your time. The more you chase her, the more she pulls away. That's why many nice guys find themselves stuck in the friend zone, because they give too much without inspiring real attraction. Nice guys also struggle because they assume being overly kind will naturally lead to romance. But attraction doesn't work that way. Women want kindness, but they also want excitement, a bit of unpredictability, and a man who isn't afraid to say no when needed. On the other side, you have the bad boy. He's confident, mysterious, and doesn't care what anyone thinks. Women are naturally drawn to his confidence, but the problem is, bad boys often lack emotional depth. Sure, they can spark excitement, but their relationships tend to be short-lived. Why? Because eventually, a woman realizes that a guy who never shows kindness or care isn't worth investing in. She may chase him at first, but she won't stay. No one wants to feel like they don't matter. A bad boy might get attention in the beginning, but over time, his inability to connect emotionally pushes women away. He's fun, but he's not reliable, and reliability matters more than temporary thrills. So what's the solution? You don't need to be a pushover, and you don't need to be heartless. The key is to be a man who is kind, but not a doormat, confident, but not arrogant, loving, but with boundaries. A high-value man knows how to lead, set boundaries, and still be thoughtful. He can show love, but he doesn't overdo it to the point of desperation. He's reliable, but not predictable. He's strong, but not controlling. And most importantly, he respects himself, which makes others respect him too. Before we continue, I'd really appreciate your support. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and every single one counts. If you're enjoying this so far, take a second to subscribe. It's free and helps a lot. Thanks. Now let's move on. Attraction isn't just about looks or status, it's about how people perceive you. Human brains naturally focus on exceptions. If you're always nice, that kindness becomes invisible. But if you're mostly confident and independent, an occasional act of kindness stands out. Think about it. If you're constantly giving, people start expecting it. But when someone who is usually reserved suddenly does something thoughtful, it feels special. That's why unpredictable, high-value men hold more power in relationships than guys who overdo kindness. This is true for all social interactions, not just dating. If you always agree with people, they take it for granted. But if you challenge them or say no sometimes, they value your approval more. Women respect men who have opinions and aren't afraid to stand their ground. Ever wonder why some women stay hooked on men who aren't fully available? It's because uncertainty builds attraction. Studies show that unpredictability triggers dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical. That's why games, gambling, and even social media notifications keep people addicted. The same principle applies to relationships. A guy who is too predictable, texting good morning every day, always agreeing, never challenging, quickly loses his appeal. But a man who keeps things interesting by being playful, teasing, or occasionally unavailable creates excitement. This doesn't mean playing mind games or ignoring her. It simply means being a man who has his own life, his own ambitions, and doesn't make a woman his entire world. When she's not sure what you'll do next, in a fun way, she stays emotionally invested. The secret is balance. Be consistent in your respect, but unpredictable in your behavior. Keep her guessing, not about your loyalty, but about the experience of being with you. That's what keeps attraction alive. One of the biggest differences between a high-value man and a nice guy is communication. Many men think they have to be overly polite or avoid disagreements to keep a woman happy, but women respect men who speak their minds confidently. Being assertive doesn't mean being rude. It means saying what you think and setting boundaries. If something bothers you, speak up. If you don't agree with her, don't just nod along, express your perspective. A woman will never respect a man who doesn't respect himself enough, to be honest. Being kind isn't the problem. The problem is being too available. If you're constantly bending over backward for her, your kindness loses value. Instead, make sure your kindness is earned and appreciated. For example, instead of texting her every morning, surprise her with a thoughtful message every now and then. Instead of constantly complimenting her, save it for moments when it truly matters. This way, your kind gestures stand out and feel meaningful. Women appreciate attention, but only when it's balanced. Give too much, and she'll take it for granted. Give too little, and she may feel ignored. The trick is to be present, but not predictable. If you always reply instantly, mix it up. If you always initiate plans, let her reach out sometimes. This keeps the dynamic fresh and prevents your attention from losing its impact. Women often test men by asking for favors. If you always say yes, she may start to see you as weak. Learn to say no when necessary. If she values you, she'll respect your time and effort more. By applying these strategies, you'll naturally create a balance between confidence and kindness, making you irresistible. A truly irresistible man isn't just confident, he understands emotions, both his own and others. This emotional intelligence allows him to handle situations with maturity, maintain attraction, and build deep connections. It all starts with knowing yourself. How do you react when things don't go your way? Do you get overly emotional, or do you stay calm and collected? Women are naturally drawn to men who can stay composed under pressure. If you let your emotions control you, whether it's jealousy, frustration, or insecurity, you lose respect. Instead, recognize your emotions, control your reactions, and always act from a place of self-respect. Confidence without empathy turns into arrogance. The key to real connection is making a woman feel understood. That doesn't mean being overly emotional. It means listening actively. Instead of always offering solutions, just acknowledge her feelings. I get why that upset you. Or, that sounds frustrating. Women love men who can balance strength with emotional depth. Every situation is different. A smart man knows when to be serious and when to joke, when to push forward and when to step back. If you're too rigid, women will feel suffocated. Being adaptable shows emotional maturity. It proves you're confident enough to handle whatever life throws at you. Master these 3 skills, and you'll not only attract women, you'll keep them wanting more. Even when trying to balance kindness and confidence, many men make mistakes that hurt their chances with women. Here are 3 common pitfalls and how to avoid them. 1. Overcompensation. Many men, after realizing that being too nice doesn't work, swing too far in the opposite direction. They try to act overly tough, show no emotion, or treat women with indifference. This backfires because it makes them seem either fake or just plain unpleasant. The key is balance. Confidence doesn't mean being cold. Women are drawn to men who are strong yet capable of showing warmth when it matters. If you shift from being a nice guy to being an emotionless bad boy, you'll only end up pushing women away. 2. Inconsistency. One of the worst things you can do is send mixed signals. If one day you're confident and engaging, but the next you're unsure and needy, she won't know who you really are. This creates doubt and lowers attraction. Women respect men who are consistent. That doesn't mean being boring, it means being emotionally stable. If you show confidence, stick to it. If you set a boundary, don't break it just because she tests you. Show her that you're steady and reliable, no matter the situation. 3. Ignoring feedback. A high-value man pays attention to how women respond to him. If multiple women pull away, flake on plans, or lose interest, something is off. Instead of blaming them, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Improvement comes from awareness. Observe what works, what doesn't, and adjust accordingly. The smartest men evolve, and that's what keeps them winning in the long run. Attracting women isn't about playing mind games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about finding the right balance between confidence and kindness. Women aren't drawn to men who constantly seek approval, but they also don't stay with men who act distant and emotionally unavailable. The secret is to be strong, self-assured, and capable of kindness, but only when it's valued. If you've been struggling in your relationships, it's probably because you've been either too predictable or too detached. Women need to feel excited and engaged in a relationship, and that happens when they're with a man who respects himself, sets boundaries, and brings a little unpredictability into the dynamic. Confidence isn't about acting tough or suppressing emotions. It's about knowing your worth, standing by your decisions, and not letting fear of rejection dictate your actions. Now, if you start applying what you've learned today, you'll notice something interesting. The way women respond to you will shift. You'll no longer feel like you have to chase their attention. Instead, they'll start to see you as someone worth their time and effort, not because you played tricks, but because you became a man they naturally desire. Before you go, I have one small request. If this video helped you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I put a lot of effort into making these, and your support really means a lot. Picture this. You're at a coffee shop drinking your usual when you notice a woman who catches your eye. She glances in your direction, but only for a second before looking back at her phone. You wonder, how do you make her think about you long after she leaves? Is there a way to stand out even if she wasn't interested at first? The answer is yes, and I'm going to show you how. A lot of guys believe that attraction is all about looks, money, or status. But here's the truth. Women don't remember a man just because of how he looks. They remember how he makes them feel. If you understand the right techniques, you can make a woman think about you non-stop even when you're not around. Whether she barely noticed you or sees you as just a friend, these strategies can change everything. In this video, we'll go over 10 powerful tricks that trigger curiosity, attraction, and emotional connection. These aren't cheap manipulation tactics. This is about becoming the kind of man who naturally gets attention and stays on her mind. So, if you want to stand out to someone new or change how a woman you already know sees you, you're in the right place. Let's start with the first trick. Be a one-of-a-kind person. The key to making a woman think about you non-stop is being authentic instead of pretending to be someone you're not. Most men follow trends, agree with everything she says, and play it safe. But women don't remember men who blend in, they remember those who stand out. Being unique doesn't mean being flashy or eccentric, it means having your own identity. Women are drawn to men who are confident in their interests, opinions, and lifestyle. If you have something you're passionate about, own it. If you have a unique way of seeing the world, express it. The more secure you are in yourself, the more magnetic you become. A common mistake is seeking approval. When a man constantly tries to please a woman, he unknowingly lowers his value. Women don't want someone who just agrees with everything they say. They want someone who has a mind of his own. So how do you apply this? Speak your truth, even if it's different from hers. Follow your own path. Be someone who has a life outside of impressing women. When you become someone worth remembering, she won't be able to forget you. Before we continue, I'd love your support. I'm working toward 1,000 subscribers, and your help means everything. If you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. It really helps. Now let's move on to the next trick. Most people assume giving is the best way to build attraction, but psychology suggests the opposite. The Ben Franklin effect shows that when someone does you a favor, they subconsciously feel more connected to you. Instead of constantly trying to impress a woman, let her invest in you. Many men try too hard, offering compliments, buying drinks, or going out of their way to please. But when something is freely given, it's not always valued. A woman appreciates someone she has put effort into, even in small ways. The trick is to ask for something simple. Have her hold something for a second, ask her opinion, or get a small recommendation. The act itself isn't what matters, it's the psychological effect. When she invests in you, her mind naturally sees you as more important. Once she helps, keep it casual. A simple thanks is enough. If you overplay it, it loses its effect. The goal isn't manipulation, it's allowing her to feel involved. People value what they work for, and when a woman puts effort into you, she subconsciously becomes more engaged in your presence. Eye contact is one of the most powerful tools in attraction, but most men either avoid it or overdo it. The triangle method strikes the perfect balance, creating subtle tension that draws her in. Instead of staring into her eyes the entire time, let your gaze move naturally between her left eye, right eye, and lips. This mimics the way people look at each other when there's chemistry, triggering an unconscious feeling of connection. It's a simple yet effective way to make interactions feel more engaging. Direct staring can feel intimidating, while avoiding eye contact makes you seem unsure of yourself. The triangle method adds just enough intrigue without making things uncomfortable. It creates a sense of anticipation and subtly increases attraction. The key is to keep it natural. If you overthink it, the effect is lost. Let your gaze shift smoothly as you talk, and if the moment feels right, a brief glance at her lips can create an unspoken spark. Women don't just remember conversations, they remember emotions. The right kind of eye contact makes your presence linger in her mind long after the conversation ends. Most men focus on what to say next, but real connection happens when you make her feel heard. A woman isn't just talking, she's revealing parts of herself. If you genuinely engage, she'll associate you with comfort and understanding. Good listening isn't just about being silent while she speaks. Active engagement makes all the difference. Instead of nodding absent-mindedly, respond with thoughtful questions, mirror her tone, and acknowledge key points. This keeps the conversation flowing naturally and makes her feel valued. A powerful way to strengthen attraction is to reflect details she shares. If she mentions something meaningful, bring it up later. This shows you're paying attention, which most people don't do. When someone feels understood, they naturally feel closer to the person who listens. Avoid interrupting or shifting the topic back to yourself too soon. Let her talk without rushing to fill silences. The more comfortable she feels, the more she'll enjoy your presence. Attraction isn't just about making an impression, it's about creating a dynamic where she feels appreciated. If she enjoys talking to you, she'll keep coming back, and that's what keeps you on her mind. Physical touch, when done correctly, can create an instant sense of closeness. Many men either avoid touch entirely or make it too obvious, but the key is to keep it natural and effortless. A well-timed, casual touch makes interactions feel more comfortable and engaging. Lightly touching her arm when making a joke, guiding her gently through a crowd, or briefly placing a hand on her back as you walk creates familiarity without being overwhelming. These small gestures establish an unspoken connection. The most important thing is to read her response. If she leans in, touches you back, or maintains close proximity, she's comfortable. If she pulls away, give her space. Mutual comfort is key. Touch should feel organic, never forced. Confidence plays a big role. If you hesitate or seem unsure, it can feel awkward, but when done smoothly, it reinforces attraction by building a sense of warmth and familiarity. People remember how they feel around someone, and touch is a major factor in creating that memory. When used naturally, it deepens the bond and makes interactions more memorable and engaging. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully figure out. If a woman knows exactly what you'll say or do next, there's no excitement. Adding a touch of mystery and unpredictability keeps interactions engaging. Most men overshare too soon, responding instantly to messages and revealing everything about themselves. While honesty matters, holding back a little makes her more curious. Instead of explaining every detail about your life, share just enough to spark her interest and let her ask more. Unpredictability also plays a huge role. If every interaction follows a pattern, attraction fades. Change things up, switch plans unexpectedly, introduce her to something new, or respond in a way she didn't expect. Variety keeps emotions engaged. However, being mysterious doesn't mean being distant. It's about revealing things gradually instead of all at once. Give her reasons to want to know more rather than giving everything away immediately. Curiosity fuels attraction. The more she wonders about you, the more you occupy her thoughts. When she's left guessing, she's invested in the interaction, and that's what makes you memorable. Laughter creates an instant bond. It lowers defenses, builds comfort, and makes interactions unforgettable. A man who can make a woman laugh stands out because humor is linked to confidence and emotional intelligence. The key isn't telling jokes, it's about having fun in the moment. Playful teasing, quick-witted remarks, or exaggerating a story for effect make conversations engaging. The goal is to keep things light-hearted and natural rather than trying too hard to be funny. Confidence is what makes humor work. Even a simple comment can be charming if delivered the right way. Laughing at yourself when appropriate or making fun of a shared situation shows you're comfortable in your own skin. Another way to use humor effectively is through situational comedy. Reacting playfully to something happening around you or creating an inside joke makes the interaction feel special. When she associates you with fun, she'll naturally want to be around you more. People remember those who make them feel good. A shared laugh leaves a lasting impression, making her think about you even when you're not there. A great sense of humor isn't just attractive, it's irresistible. People are naturally drawn to those who feel familiar. Subtle mirroring, adopting aspects of her body language, speech, or energy, creates an unspoken connection and makes interactions flow effortlessly. Mirroring isn't about copying, it's about reflecting her vibe in a way that feels natural. If she leans in while talking, subtly do the same. If she speaks with enthusiasm, match her energy. These small adjustments make her subconsciously feel in sync with you. Most men try to impress by changing themselves entirely, but real chemistry happens when she feels comfortable in your presence. When interactions feel effortless, she won't even realize why she enjoys being around you. The key is subtlety. If mirroring is too obvious, it feels forced. Let it happen gradually, adjusting your tone, expressions, or gestures to match hers in a way that feels organic. This makes the interaction feel more personal and engaging. When a woman senses this kind of connection, she instinctively trusts and remembers you more. It's not about faking compatibility, it's about creating a natural rhythm between you. A conversation that flows effortlessly leaves a lasting impact. Confidence is magnetic, but how you carry yourself determines whether people feel drawn to you. The perfect balance is being self-assured without being unapproachable. Many men either lack confidence or overcompensate by acting aloof. True confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about being comfortable in your own skin. A man who knows his worth but doesn't feel the need to prove it stands out effortlessly. Body language plays a huge role. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, and speak with a steady tone. Avoid nervous habits like fidgeting or looking down. The way you present yourself subconsciously influences how others see you. At the same time, approachability matters. A simple smile makes all the difference. A confident man who smiles is seen as warm and engaging, making it easier for people to connect with him. When speaking to a woman, make her feel at ease. Show that you're sure of yourself while remaining open and engaged. A strong presence combined with a relaxed attitude makes interactions memorable and enjoyable. People don't just remember what you say, they remember how they felt around you. A confident yet approachable man leaves a lasting impression. People remember those who make them feel good. A shared laugh creates an instant connection and makes interactions more enjoyable. If a woman associates you with fun, she'll naturally want to be around you. The best humor isn't about telling jokes, it's about enjoying the moment. Playful teasing, quick-witted remarks, or reacting to situations in a light-hearted way keep conversations engaging. A man who can laugh at himself and make others feel at ease is effortlessly attractive. Confidence plays a big role. Even a simple, funny comment becomes more charming when delivered with certainty. Humor shouldn't feel rehearsed. It should come from being comfortable in the interaction. Situational humor works especially well. Reacting to something unexpected or turning an ordinary moment into an inside joke makes interactions feel unique. When a woman feels she shares something special with you, she'll remember it long after you're gone. People gravitate toward those who make them feel happy and relaxed. If you make her smile effortlessly, she'll want more of that feeling. Being someone she enjoys being around is what keeps you on her mind. Imagine leaving a conversation and she's still thinking about you. That's the power of these 10 strategies. Attraction isn't about trying harder, it's about creating a lasting impression. When you balance confidence, humor, mystery, and connection, you naturally stand out. Now, I want to hear from you. Which trick do you think makes the biggest difference? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. Before you go, help me reach 1,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like the video. See you in the next one.